next thing we want to cover today, one of those things that we're seeing some questions on is this concept of save and save as. So in Creative Studio, our old design program, if I were to create this, I'm going to call it plaid dog tag, and I were to save it. And then I were to come back in tomorrow and open up that plaid dog tag and move my a fraction to the left or change my colors or whatever, it's going to save a second version. So that's what I refer to as save as. So in save as, that means every time you open it and make a change, it saves a version. So if I worked on something today, worked on it tomorrow, worked on it Friday, worked on it Saturday, worked on it Sunday, I have 5 versions of the same thing, and to clean things up, I would have to go in and delete the old ones. There are times where save as comes in really handy though, because if I were doing this as a line of plaid dog tags and I wanted to do the first initial of every letter, or I wanted to do every letter in the alphabet, I would want them all saved separately. And so I would actually want one for A and one for B and one for C and so forth and so on. The normal workflow that most people follow in the design tool is that they're opening from my studio, and I will show you. If I hit save and print, I'm going to give this a name. And I were to save it into a category. I'm going to randomly put that in mugs for now. This is going to take me into my product detail page. So what just happened was that saved to your galleries. So that saved a version to your galleries. I'm actually now going to save it into my studio. Now, let's discuss one more time. If I hit save, it saves it to my studio. No one accesses that. That's just mine. If I wanted to add this to my store for people to buy, which actually, if I were going to do a line of plaid dog tags, that would be a great thing to do. I'm going to hit post for sale. No one's going to see that unless I share the link, but the only way anything gets into your store is if you hit post for sale. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to hit save. That's going to add it to my studio. All right, so that is going to save, and it is saving across the top. Okay. All right, so that is now saved into my studio. If I were to click on the 3 dots and I were to hit open in Designer and go in and make that letter B and then do the same process and hit save, my A is gone and now I have a B. So that is what I call the save workflow, where everything is nice and neat. I only have one of everything I've done because I just save them over each other. But I do understand that in the case of this, especially if I were adding them into my store, I want them with every letter. Now, of course, the beauty of the MySawgrass store, which again is only available in the US for now, with the MySawgrass store, you can actually have the user customize, so they could change the letter or change the name, so you don't have to worry about that. But in this case, I would want all the letters. All right, so instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to design. I'm going to open up my dog tag again. And so I am opening up my dog tag, but instead of going to designs, which it is loading, I'm going to go to my gallery. Now, everything you add to the program, this is why you name it. It goes to your galleries. So if I go down to my designs and I go to my mugs folder, which we are working very diligently to increase speed in anywhere where it's having to pull things from the database, whether that's a search, whether that's here in my galleries. And to be honest with you, I spent a good part of last week on calls helping with that workflow. So we're definitely working there. So I'm going to click on my dog tag. It's going to bring it in. I'm going to resize it to fit properly. And then I am going to go in, I'm going to click on my letter A, and I'm going to change that letter A to a letter B. Now, when I go to save this, I'm going to hit print on this just because it's going to help me in the next segment. So we're going to go ahead and send that over real fast. But that's going to help me with that third point. Okay. So one moment while we send that over to print. All right. That is sending. We're just going to give it a good second. There we are. Okay, thank you. All right, there that is. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to close this and I'm going to hit save. I'm going to hit save and print. I'm going to get it the name B, letter B, and I'm going to hit save. So when this opens up in my product detail page and I hit save, now in my studio I'll have both my letter A and I'll have my letter B. And I'll hit save. And then I can go in and pull these up, make changes if necessary, print when I need to print, and do whatever I need to do right from my studio. So I hope that kind of explains this whole concept of where I say in this program we can do both save and we can do save as. Save is done by opening from your studio. Save as is done by opening from my galleries. And that's going to be the difference there. And if we look down, there's my A and there's my B. And I have them and I'm ready to go.